Saturday, during a routine patrol, deputies found the 21-year-old's body near a lake 20 miles from the Ole Miss campus.
To find out that she was brutally murdered, it's just shocking.
She would walk in a room and just the whole room would light up. I always knew she was there, she was my person. I could just.
Ally, what are you doing?
Taking a picture for Sunsets by Ally. Follow.
Alexandria Kostial went by Ally. She was 21 years old, a junior at the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, studying marketing. She taught fitness classes on campus, Pilates, yoga. She ran the golf club.
Stadium, Oxford, Mississippi. It is the home opener for the Ole Miss Rebels.
She was a founding member of her sorority chapter, Alpha Phi. From a young age, Ally loved flowers. Her mother, Cindy, says that was one of the reasons Ally chose Ole Miss. The campus was full of them. She decorated her apartment in Oxford with a beach theme. Shells, coastal colors, things that made the place feel light and easy. She was planning to graduate in the spring of 2020. She wanted to work in the fashion industry. On the evening of July 19th, Cindy called Ally from St. Louis. It was around 7 p.m. Ally had just woken up from a nap. Her mom asked what she was doing that night. "I'm going to go out with some friends," Ally said. Cindy didn't worry. She always went out. That was Ally. That phone call was the last time Cindy Kostial heard her daughter's voice. By mid-morning on July 20th, investigators from the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department were at Sardis Lake, an old, abandoned fishing camp. Dark trees, still water, nothing around for miles. The drive from the Ole Miss campus in Oxford takes about 45 minutes on a dark, narrow highway. Ally's body was found. She had been shot at least 9 times, and there were 11 shell casings at the crime scene. Her purse on the road's edge, untouched. Her ID still inside. Her cell phone was gone. Whoever did this had taken it.
Tragedy no family would ever want to experience. A college student killed while far away from home. Good evening, I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. A St. Louis County family is mourning the death of their 21-year-old daughter. Police found Ally Kostial's body near a lake in Mississippi over the weekend.
Saturday, during a routine patrol, deputies found the 21-year-old's body near a lake 20 miles from the Ole Miss campus.
To find out that she was brutally murdered, it's just shocking.
I spoke to Ally's dad, Keith, in person Monday morning, but he didn't want to go on camera. As you can imagine, he was visibly distraught. A sweet and genuine girl who always had a smile on her face.
She quite possibly was the nicest human being that I've ever met. Ally was just one of those people that would just constantly lift you up. So that's why it's so hard for me, and I think a lot of her other friends. It's just like, no one deserves this.
The sorority house pillars now don black bows in mourning. Alpha Phi also released a statement saying, in part, "We hope that those who were closest to Ally can find peace as they reflect on the lasting impact she made on the lives of her family members and friends."
Courtney, the memorial continues to grow outside of the high school here tonight. More flowers and balloons, photos of the Lindbergh High School graduate, where this vigil here was held tonight. They decided to focus not on the horrors that happened just south of us in Mississippi, but instead focus on the life that Ally led.
I'll just never forget the lesson she taught me is if you want to do something in life, go after it and never be afraid to be yourself.
Memories that will last a lifetime for friends who were forced to say goodbye too soon. Friends, classmates, and teachers of Ally Kostial gathered around the flagpole of Lindbergh High School tonight to say goodbye.
I think it really set in when I was talking about the memories that we had and looked out to see everyone that she impacted.
At the vigil, friends left notes and memories on a large sign they plan to give to her parents.
Just so they can see how much she actually impacted our community and everyone that loved her.
From the crowd, it's clear in her 21 years of life, Ally touched so many. These friends say they are thankful that they have each other to lean on, as well as this community. A visitation is planned for tomorrow Funeral services will be held on Saturday. Live from Limburg High School.
This morning, a multi-agency manhunt is underway as concern grips this small Mississippi college town. Authorities hunting for a suspect in the apparent murder of Ally Kostial. And this is what it looks like around the lake where authorities found her body. You can see a number of trees, also winding roads get you here. And I've only seen a few houses, so this area is very remote. Kostial was studying marketing at the university where the deepening mystery has classmates on edge.
It makes you want to be more careful. I go out and go to Sardis with my friends all the time, and I run around my neighborhood at nighttime. Like, there's people out there you don't know. You feel like you can trust everybody, but maybe you can't.
While the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department is not releasing many details of the investigation, its investigators are following several leads. In a statement, the University of Mississippi offering its condolences. And it's the unknown that is adding to the sense of concern for classmates and also residents in this area that is quieter right now because most students are away for the summer. In the meantime, the Mississippi Bureau of Investigations is helping in the search for answers. Cecilia.
Okay, Marcus, such a sad story there.
Investigators drove to Ally's apartment in Oxford. They went through it carefully, looking for anything, any lead, any name, any thread they could pull. Her phone wasn't there, no laptop left open, nothing obvious. And then on her nightstand, her Apple Watch. It was sitting right where she'd left it before going out the night before. But Apple Watches sync with their paired phone. They store recent messages, and Ally's phone, wherever it was, had synced everything to that watch before it was taken from the scene. Investigator Jarrett Bundren picked it up. What was on that watch was months of a relationship. Months of text messages between Ally Kostial and a man whose name was Brandon Theesfeld. The texts went back to April of 2019, 3 months before her death. Ally had been staying in Oxford that summer to take classes. Her mother had no idea anything was wrong. She thought Ally was focused on exams. She was focused on something else entirely. On April 14th, 2019, Ally sent Brandon a photo. It was a home pregnancy test. The result was inconclusive, a very faint blue line, barely there. Alongside the photo, she wrote, "Like it's a very faint blue line, but I don't know, I guess I can wait and see if my period comes." His response came quickly. "Well, all right, we will see, but if it is pregnant, we are not keeping. We can get a pill." Ally pushed back. She was scared and conflicted, and she was trying to make him understand that. "But even if you don't want to be involved, like I am really pretty and sweet, and I know I will meet a real man one day." She asked him to meet her in person, to talk about it face to face. He went days without responding, sometimes longer. When he did reply, it was short and it was always the same. End the pregnancy. That was the only thing he was willing to discuss. This went on for weeks. In early July, Ally's texts became more urgent. She told him she'd been drinking heavily. A full bottle of tequila, 2 bottles of champagne, 7 beers in 48 hours. Whether it was a cry for help or an attempt to get a reaction from him, we don't know. He ignored those too. In early July, she also told him she had been bleeding, that she thought something might be wrong. There is evidence, prosecutors later said, that she may have experienced a miscarriage. It didn't slow the messages from her. On July 12th, he finally sent her one clear text. "I don't want to talk. Just get an appointment. Talking isn't necessary." That same day, Brandon left Oxford. He drove home to Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas, to his father's house. Then, July 18th, 2 days before Ally's body was found, shortly before 2 a.m., Ally sent him one more message. Attached to it was a photograph, a photo of her stomach. July 19. He finally, after 3 months of silence and deflection, agreed to see her. The horrifying irony is that those text messages from him, asking if it's a good environment, "Are your friends going to be there?" You could assume that she's thinking he wants to talk and work things out. In his mind, he's thinking, "I don't want any witnesses when I get her in the car with me." His father, Daniel Robert Theesfeld, was a physician based in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, a man of means. Brandon leaned on that fact heavily. Investigators contacted Theesfeld that same day. They asked him to come in and speak with them about Ally. He said he would. He just needed some time. He never came. When Theesfeld had driven home to Dallas-Fort Worth on July 12th, he hadn't just gone to see his father. He came back with a gun, his father's gun, a Glock Model 22, .40 caliber. On July 14th, 2 days after he left Oxford, Theesfeld posted a photo of it on social media. "Finally taking my baby back to Oxford." That same day, he searched the internet for silencers and suppressors compatible with the Glock 22. He returned to Oxford on July 16th at approximately 6:30 p.m. His browser history on that day included hollow-tip ammunition, tactical face masks, how serial killer Ted Bundy lured his victims, what button does what on a Glock pistol. And on July 17th, he texted Ally and told her he wanted to meet. He just needed to know why. Was her place private? Would her roommates be around? She said yes. He told her to let him know when she was home. July 19th, 2019, Oxford Square, 11:52 p.m. A security camera outside a bar captured the last known footage of Ally Kostial alive. She walks out of the bar. She hugs someone, a friend. She steps into the warm July night. She gets into a gray van, an Uber. She goes home. Her roommates confirmed she arrived back at the apartment around midnight, and then she left again. Cell phone location data and GPS records filled in what no camera could show. At approximately 1:28 a.m. on July 20th, Theesfeld's vehicle was captured on camera driving toward Ally's apartment. He picked her up. They drove north together on a dark, narrow highway. 45 minutes. No lights, no homes. Trees on either side. He drove her to an abandoned fishing camp at the edge of Sardis Lake. At the camp, there was a picnic table near the water. They sat down. There were cans of White Claw hard seltzer on the table between them. Whatever Ally believed was about to happen, a conversation, finally, lasted only a few minutes. Theesfeld pulled the Glock. He shot her. He didn't stop at one shot. He didn't stop at 3. He came around that picnic table, firing as he moved. 11 shots in total. 9 of them struck Ally Kostial. 1 round hit the table. 1 he fired toward the lake. She was shot at least 9 times. At 6:45 a.m., surveillance footage at a convenience store in Batesville, positioned between the lake and the interstate heading north, showed Theesfeld's truck pulling through. When investigators searched Theesfeld's campus apartment, they found something on his desk. A handwritten letter, addressed to his parents. It had been written after the murder. Prosecutors called it a confession. He knew what he had done. He had known perhaps for some time that he was capable of it. Investigators tracked his cell phone. The signal placed him on the road heading north, toward Memphis, Tennessee, toward the interstate, toward anywhere that wasn't Oxford. A bolo went out for his vehicle, a pickup truck. Distinctive. The license plate read TAK3IT. Within hours, a Memphis Police Department officer spotted the truck at a gas station. The fugitive task force moved in. Theesfeld was taken into custody without incident. He was wearing clothes that appeared to have blood on them. Inside the truck, a .40 caliber Glock. Model 22. The gun his father had bought, the gun he had posted on social media with the caption about bringing his baby back to Oxford. Ballistics would confirm it was the gun that killed Ally Kostial.
News from Lafayette County. An arrest is made in a shooting death of Ole Miss student Ally Kostial. The person behind bars is another Ole Miss student. Chief Deputy Alan Wilburn said that Brandon Theesfeld of Texas charged with Kostial's murder. Theesfeld's Facebook page lists that he is a student at the University of Mississippi. Wilburn will not go into the particulars of the case except that Brandon went before a judge this morning for his initial appearance. His booking photo will be released later this afternoon.
There is one more detail, a final, devastating one. The autopsy was definitive. At the time of her death, Ally Kostial was not pregnant. She may have had an early miscarriage in the months before. There was some evidence suggesting that. But on the night Brandon Theesfeld drove her 30 miles into the Mississippi dark, and fired 11 shots. Brandon Theesfeld was charged with capital murder. In Mississippi, that charge carries the possibility of the death penalty. Prosecutors argued he had lured Ally into his vehicle under false pretenses, that she would never have gotten in that truck if she had known. He pleaded not guilty. 2 years passed. The trial was delayed by the pandemic.
And in Mike, today, the defense attorneys asked for a psychological evaluation. In the meantime, the accused killer, Brandon Theesfeld, will stay in jail. The family of Ally Kostial spoke for the first time, her cousin reading a short statement in court.
We pray for strength in the coming days and are thankful for the friends, neighbors, co-workers, and many others who have supported us.
Kostial's family traveled from St. Louis to Mississippi for the hearing. Brandon Theesfeld is charged with murder. His attorney says he was going to request bond, but after he discovered new information, he decided to ask for a mental health evaluation. Outside of court, a handful of young women held signs saying justice for Ally.
It's incredibly difficult for us to have to deal with these kind of cases, and I know it's just terrible and difficult for them, not only to have to deal with that kind of loss, but then to have to come and face this.
On August 27, 2021, in a Lafayette County courtroom, Brandon Theesfeld changed his plea. Guilty. First-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison. In his statement to the Kostial family, his voice cracked. "I am sincerely sorry for the pain I've caused while taking Ally from you. My actions have forever changed your lives and my family's lives. I wish I could take it all back, but I can't. There's no excuse for my actions, and I have asked God for forgiveness."
A new chapter in the tragedy tonight. Brandon Theesfeld sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty. Theesfeld was led into a Mississippi courtroom today by 4 officers, handcuffed in a bright orange jumpsuit.
A tragic situation. It's akin to a Greek tragedy.
Brandon Theesfeld serves his life sentence at the Mississippi State Penitentiary, known as Parchman. Under Mississippi law, he may petition for conditional release at age 65, once he has served 15 years. Cindy Kostial said she and Ally talked about everything in her daughter's life. She never once mentioned his name. On a campus covered in flowers, the very thing that had drawn her there in the first place.
Really was just like up to do anything. She just wanted to live life to the fullest. She would walk in a room and just the whole room would light up. I always knew she was there, she was my person. I could just always count on her. I feel like I just am gonna wake up tomorrow and it's gonna be over.
Ally Kostial's friends held a memorial in September 2019. She had just woken up from a nap. She was going to go out with some friends, and she never came back.